And action. What's up, everyone? First, I want to apologize for the unappealing surroundings. We're kind of going through a renovation type thing up here in the attic, and it's really the only place that I can be in the house without too much distraction going on. So, I'm making this video today because I am 2 months and 2 days on testosterone. September 17th was the 2 month mark. So, changes are coming pretty slow. My facial hair is getting a little bit darker and a little bit thicker. Nothing happening too fast. So, besides that, it's easier to talk in my deeper voice. I'm not really trying as hard like I have before to reach this low of a level in my voice. I'm not sure if it's like bass or baritone or whatever, but I can get deeper and deeper. And hopefully it just continues for a while. Yeah, besides that, I kind of have a shorter temper. Little things kind of irritate me easier, and yeah, I'm trying to deal with it the best I can. I think it's just because I just started and my body is trying to adjust to the hormones and all that. Anyway, so I wanted to answer a few questions that I have been asked since coming out as transgender. I had made a status on my Facebook opening my arms to anyone who would like to ask me anything, and I got 0 responses. I got a whole bunch of likes on my status, but I don't think anyone was really comfortable coming forward and asking personal questions. So some people are, and I have been asked, mainly family members, but I've had, some acquaintances and coworkers, friends, ask certain questions. So I wrote down 10 of those questions, and I'm going to read them off and answer them the best I can. My apologies if I kind of ramble on. I get lost in my words sometimes, so I'm going to try my best not to do that. Alright, so the first question, one of the top questions I've been asked, is how long have you known that you are transgender? I first learned of the term, exactly what it meant to be transgender, when I was 21, 22, around that time. I don't remember the exact day or the month or even the year that I discovered it. I just know it was around that age. And as soon as I started reading the websites, I knew that's exactly who I was. That's as far as I knew what transgender was, and that's who I am. I've always, since I can really remember, felt as if I should have been born a boy, and I started voicing that in my teenage years. I would actually make a joke about a boy being trapped in a girl body. And that's when, at 21, I finally just Googled it because it was starting to bug me, and I kind of, I didn't really expect Google to come up with anything, but surprisingly they did, and it pretty much damn near blew me out my seat. So, yeah. So, I'm 28 now. For about 6-7 years I've known. Okay. Question 2. How did you realize you are transgender and not a lesbian? That kind of refers to number 1, as far as how long I've known. After reading the sites about transgender, and basically the way it described the childhood and the adolescent years of transgender people, how many of them, what they go through and how they feel and blah, blah, blah. I related pretty much 100% with everything. So that, and I felt like I should have been born a guy. So, boy. Question 3. What is the difference between being lesbian, gay, and a transgender person? First off, being lesbian or gay is a sexuality. So, 2 girls being with each other is lesbian, 2 guys being with each other is gay. Transgender is a gender identity disorder. It's a gender dysphoria. In order to be a lesbian, you have to, you're a female. You have a female brain and female body, and you're comfortable, completely happy with it. I know females out there who identify as lesbians have the same kind of haircut as I do, short hair, buzz clip, whatever, stud dressing, boy clothes, all of that, but they're 100% female, and if they get called sir, they get pretty frustrated because they're not guys, and they don't want to be known as guys, and that's what the difference is. Lesbian, gay is a sexuality, transgender is an identity, a gender identification. Okay, next question. Have you lost any relationships since coming out as trans? I have lost one relationship, and this individual, didn't really say, oh, well, I don't want to be a part of your life because you're transgender. They didn't necessarily say that. But after I came out as trans, the relationship completely went down south, and that relationship in itself was pretty shaky anyway, so it really wasn't a loss for me. And then I have had a few family members who, have kind of distanced themselves. Some have said some pretty hurtful things, and others haven't said anything really hurtful at all. They're just more concerned, and they've just distanced themselves because they really don't agree with it. That's their own opinions. I'm not going to dislike them, any more or any less. They're my family. I'm still going to love them as long as they don't try and kill me, whatever. Everybody has their own opinion, and at the end of the day, I'm living for me, and I'm living to make myself happy. So if I'm dying happy in my own body, then, you should be happy for me. But like I said, everybody has their own feelings, their own thoughts, and you just gotta live with it. So, next question. I'll combine the next 2 questions into one. Were you scared to follow through with the medical transition, and what are the biggest fears about transitioning? Not one part of me has been scared or fearful of following through with the medical part of transition. I have been waiting for this since I basically discovered what transgender is, and that's who I am. My only fears really are, there's always a health concern when you're taking medications, and of course I'm injecting myself with a medication every couple weeks, and in the long run it may have an effect, but I do know as long as I keep myself healthy and continue to stay healthy, I shouldn't have to worry about those so much. So as long as you maintain a healthy lifestyle, you shouldn't really have to worry, and regularly get checked up by a doctor, which I'm on that kind of setup. So there's your answer for that. I ain't scared of nothing. Alright, next question. How long do you have to take shots or hormones for? The rest of my life. As long as I want to be a man, I'm going to have to take shots. Or unless they come up with some kind of miracle pill or shot, that makes your body naturally produce testosterone for the rest of my life. And I'm okay with that. I give my own self shots. I'm okay with that. Everybody does it different. Some people start their transition and they decide they don't want to transition anymore. That's their own personal reasons. I plan on it as long as I can financially afford it. Luckily, my insurance is helping me out, so the rest of my life. All right. Do you plan on having surgery? I absolutely do. I want the outside of me to match what's been on the inside of me my whole life. So, when it is financially an option for me, I will be proceeding with all surgeries necessary to have my outer appearance match my inner appearance. Do you ever want to have kids, and will you be able to? I do want to have kids. I do not want to carry kids. I have never desired to carry kids. I have desired to have kids, but of my own biological children. But like I said, I have never, no, I just can't imagine a tiny life growing inside of me. I think it's a beautiful, great way of life. It's the creation. It's beautiful to me. But for me to carry a baby, no. I have looked into fertilization and harvesting my eggs, and that's looking like a good $15,000. So that right now is kind of unclear what exactly I will do to have children. Adoption is obviously an option as well. But yes, I do plan on having kids someday. And the final question is, what all is required before and during transition? That is a lot. I made the decision about a year after realizing that I am transgender. I made the decision that I did, in fact, want to go through all the stresses of going through transition. Because I realized I'm never going to be happy unless I can be happy inside and out with myself. So around the age of 22, 6 years ago, I started trying to figure out how to go about it, and I am now 2 months on testosterone. So what all was required was going to therapy for long enough to have my therapist comfortable with writing a referral letter to get me on hormones, and then finding either an endocrinologist, which is a doctor that specializes with hormones, and they're blood specialists. They specialize with diabetes and all types of blood and hormone disorders. Or your family physician. A family physician can also prescribe you hormones, but that's all on them and if they're comfortable with it. My family physician is not comfortable with it. He works about 10 miles up the road, and he is more than willing to be my family physician while I'm going through transition, but will not prescribe me the medication, so I have to drive about 2 hours to go see a blood specialist. It's not easy. You do have to make some sacrifices, but if this is something that, like myself, if this is something that you want, then you've got to do what it takes. And as far as during my transition, what's required is really, it's not like the state or the government requires me to do anything. It's more of a personal thing. I am going to be getting back into therapy to help myself with managing my temper and just the stresses of life in general, and just try and get a better outlook on things. And then really my my endocrinologist requires me to come see him every 3 to 6 months now, so that's about it. And yeah, that's all the questions I got, and I hope I made some sense to everyone. I wanted to make this video a little bit more interesting than my shot video because I was pretty nervous on that, and it was only my second or third shot. So yeah, well, thanks for watching, everyone, and peace.